What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Salami squad around the world? The meat pack is in the building. It is your boy Mike Rogers, got Mike Richman, got a boy Alex Cruz. Say what's happening, folk.
Live.
Yeah, we definitely live in this joint. It is lit. We are approaching baseball season, so we about to hit you with the inaugural episode of Dingers and Doinks, baby. That is our new baseball segment. Crack that bat. We be rating all season. So we about to get into it here. We're just going to give you all a quick little dive in, get our feet wet in this baseball talk, and kind of talk about who I think is going to come out of these standings as the number one team. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it and talk about the NL West. Obviously, Dodgers just won themselves a chip after about 4 or 5 years of trying, couple appearances. Finally, were able to get themselves one. And to me, all signs to me are pointing that they're going to be in that running again. I mean, to me, I look at this Dodgers roster, what they were able to do over the offseason, bringing in Trevor Bauer, which is a huge trade. Obviously, Cy Young winner, to add a Cy Young winner to an already stacked rotation, who's going to stand right next to Clayton Kershaw, who, is one of the greatest pitchers at this point of all time. There's no and they were able to re-sign Justin Turner. I mean, the Dodgers honestly just got better this offseason. And when you're a team that just got off of winning a championship and got better, I think all fingers are pointing to they're going to come back and be right there again. I do got to give another shout out to an NL West team, and that's the San Diego Padres. You know what I mean? To me, the San Diego Padres are what every single sports organization, every sport, every team looks at as an example of how to build a roster. Obviously, baseball is a little different because you have farm systems, you have farm teams to obviously grow. You can draft guys and keep them at a level for however many years you want to see the potential. And they did that for the most part. They had a lot of guys. They had the best farm system in baseball for many years. Bringing up guys like Fernando Tatis, Chris Paddock, and I think the year before last year, you realized we had something brewing. And with that being said, they went out and got a bunch of free agents. Obviously, Manny Machado went ahead and got that boy Chris Snell. Just went and made some big splash seasons, realized, hey, we got a great roster here that we were able to build up from scratch. So we saved a bunch of money. So let's go ahead and use some of that free agency money. Like I said, the Dodgers, to me, just go ahead and demolish this division. But the Padres, to me, are obviously, I think, going to be a playoff team. They're going to make a lot of noise. Fernando Tatis Jr., I think, is going to have an incredible season. Dude's going to be on the cover of the MLB 21, the show. Manny Machado, those dudes can rake. And I think they're going to prove it all season. Does anybody disagree with me on that?
Not at all. I think these teams are each other's biggest roadblock at this point. Being in the same division, we're going to have to see them play, 19 games against each other here. So yep. I definitely think they're going to be each other's biggest opponent. But they obviously both will make the playoffs, 100%.
100% going to make the playoffs. No.
Cannot disagree, bro. I think this NL West is by far the strongest. They're just the two best teams, I think, even in the league, no matter what division, league, whatever you're talking about. I think Padres, Dodgers could be World Series matchup, and they're in the same division, which is just crazy. I think Padres even added Darvish.
Yeah.
That dude was balling. Like, he was a Cy Young Award winner, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, and now he's just like their fourth pitcher in their rotation. That's crazy. There's just two super teams battling it out 19 times a year. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Yeah, no, that's going to be some really great TV to watch for sure. So that's the NL West. I'm going to move on to the NL Central. This one was kind of hard for me. I think a lot of signs point to, I think a lot of favorites right now are going for the Brewers. Obviously, having Christian Yelich and whatnot, I see that argument. But to me, I think I got to go with the Cardinals here, man. Obviously, Cardinals have always been a very consistent, good team, but made probably the biggest move this offseason, go ahead and trade him for Nolan Arenado, and really didn't give up much for him. The Rockies took a bag of chips and pretty much had to eat $50 million to go ahead and trade Nolan Arenado. But I'm looking at Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt as your infield. And to me, those dudes are just going to rake up. Honestly, just alone, I think Nolan Arenado is going to fuck around being the MVP conversation. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I got the Cardinals coming out on top here, man, just because the Pirates are probably going to be the worst team this year. They're full rebuild mode. The Cubs made a couple moves here and there. Getting Jock Peterson is a huge move for them. But, at the end of the day, I think this division is going to have to be run through the Cardinals, and then the Brewers will be right behind. I might have those can be just 1 and 2, but to me, those are 1A and 1B, not on the level of a Dodgers Padres, but I think it's going to be one of those teams, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. It's definitely a 2-team race here, Cardinals, Brewers. I think Christian Yelich comes back and has a monster season. I think the Brewers need that. And, I mean, I think, honestly, I'm saying Brewers this year, but I think you're right. It's definitely a 2-team race. That Arenado trade, he's going to ball out finally on a good team for, the first time, it seems like, in 10 years. He's finally playing some meaningful baseball. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely see Brewers, Cardinals top 2 in this division. The other 3 can kind of whatever, dude. Get out of here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be good to see Nolan Arenado play on a good team that actually, maybe get to see him in some playoff atmosphere. But, all right, that being said, going to move on to the last NL division, the NL East, where my team, I think, is about to run that joint, and that is the New York Mets. Now, to me, this is another division where this one's kind of hard, man, because I'm looking at 5 teams here that are all kind of good. I think the Marlins are probably the worst team in this division, but they're still a pretty good baseball team. When I'm looking at the Nationals got a squad. We're talking Steven Strasburg. We're talking Juan Soto. I mean, they're 2 years removed from winning a championship. I'm looking at the Phillies. The Phillies have kind of not been where they wanted to be since getting Bryce Harper and whatnot, but they're going to be in that conversation as well. I'm talking the Atlanta Braves. We're talking Freddie Freeman, Acuna Jr. I mean, that's a fucking squad right there.
Oh, yeah.
But all in all, I think I got the Mets coming out at top, man, because if you ask me, I think the Mets have the best, maybe besides the Dodgers, have the best rotation in baseball. Obviously, Cy Young there at the pitcher. We went ahead and brought ourselves San Francisco Lindor to, lock down that infield. I just think I got something in me, man. Trevor May and whatnot, man. I feel like this is the Mets' year to go ahead and fuck around and get back, that 2016 World Series appearance, man. But this to me, this might be the best division in baseball, honestly, because 4 out of these 5 teams can make the playoffs. So it's kind of really a crapshoot at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely top to bottom best division in baseball. I don't really think there's any competition. I could see all 5 of these teams in a scenario where they make the playoffs. I mean, all 5 of these. We saw last year the Marlins in a shortened season make the playoffs and have a good run. Like, they're young talent, young pitching. I mean, they got just a squad there. But I think this division is going to be top to bottom by far the best division in baseball. And a lot of offense in this division. It's going to be fun to watch. A lot of runs being scored in this division.
Yeah, this is going to be must-see TV. You get a Mets and a Nats game or a Braves and a Mets game. That's going to be some fun TV to watch, no doubt. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and move right on to the American League. We're going to talk about the AL East. And this one was kind of hard for me because, obviously, the Rays made the World Series last year and eventually lost. And they still got a squad, man. For the most part, they don't really have any superstars on their team like that. But just talk about a group of dudes that know their role and play to their potential. The Rays have an absolutely phenomenal coaching staff that puts their players in a position to win. But I got to go ahead and go with New York Yankees right here, man. The New York Yankees, I mean, for the past 3-4 years, having Aaron Judge, Mike Stanton, have been right there every single year, but just haven't been able to get over that hump. But this year, man, I mean, it's the New York Yankees. They were like, hey, we're going to go out and spend that money. At the end of the day, the Yankees make the most money out of like any sports franchise in the world. And it's so easy to get free agents and guys to come to the Yankees because you can just pull up with that Brinks truck. They did that with Garrett Cole and whatnot and made a bunch of moves this season. So I still like the Rays to be a playoff team and potentially make a playoff run, but definitely have to go with the Yankees at this point to win that division, I think.
For sure, Yanks, bro. Brim.
I agree. Yankees are probably the favorite heading into this division, but I mean, listen, I'm not sleeping on those Blue Jays though. Bo Bichette, that young talent coming out of Toronto, Canada, bro. Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr. They got Ryu, pitcher. I mean, I think that team is going to be fun to watch. They got some talent, and they just signed George Springer, I think, too. That was their big free agent splash. that's a team that's ready to play. I'm not sleeping on them at all for sure this year.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point with the Blue Jays. They're definitely going to be a fun team to watch. I just think for the most part right now, I think that'll be another year or two before that really comes to fruition. I think Bo Bichette and Vladdy, those are going to be superstars in this league, especially Vlad Jr. Bo Bichette's fucking great. I just think we need another year for that to marinate for the Blue Jays really in that conversation. But that is going to be, I think, probably one of the funnest teams to watch in all the MLB this year. Definitely. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the AL Central. And to me, this is another one. To me, this is really only down to two teams, the White Sox and Twins. I think I do like the White Sox coming out of here. I think MLB right now has them in their power ranking at like 5 or something, which I think is well deserved. Tim Anderson and the crew, they got a squad, man, and for the most part, the Royals and the Tigers are just kind of shit baseball teams. I do like the Tigers, though. I do think they will be bad this year, obviously, but will be a sneaky kind of good bad team, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to be as bad as projected.
Get some dubs.
They got some players. I think they'll be able to get some wins, but. The Twins past couple years, I think, surprised everybody, especially a year ago when they were fucking just leading the charge and playing phenomenal baseball. Kind of last year, the White Sox asserted themselves in that conversation. So to me, this division really is going to be, the Indians, Cleveland at this point, they still got a little squad. They just they're not there no more. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. Indians they're just throwing everyone, bro. Throwing away Lindor. All their good players, they're just trying to get out of there. Like Lindor, Kluber, everyone, they're just throwing it away. They gave the Mets their whole team, so
we'll take it.
Indians are gonna be in the cellar. They're terrible. But I think I agree with you that you got a 2-team race again. Yeah, White Sox, Twins, 2 teams that don't have a lot of like superstar talent. Like Tim Anderson, obviously on the White Sox is great, but 2 teams that just play well together, play some good baseball.
They're the AL version of the Rays to me. Like I said, not really any superstars like that. Just a good, solid group of guys, great coaching. They just go out there and play hard baseball. But
just get some W's.
Hey, White Sox or Twins? We gotta say something.
I'm taking the Twins. I think the Twins just been playing way more consistent baseball. Don't get me wrong, White Sox got a good young team there, but I think the Twins take it home this year.
Yeah, no, I can definitely get down with that. All right, so last but not least, we're going to talk about the AL West here, to where, cheating scandals aside and whatnot, all their controversy and the saga that's been Houston this whole year between all sports. I still got to go with the Astros here, man. They still have a phenomenal team that, for the most part, besides losing George Springer, was able to keep their team intact for the most part. And, cheating alone and whatnot, you got guys like Jose Altuve, Michael Brantley. This is a fucking squad. I do like the Angels in this division, obviously. Mike Trout is, by the time his career is over, he's probably going to be the greatest regular season baseball player ever. Like, just I'm not bullshitting, just ever. This guy's only 27. He's got a long time to go. But they haven't been able to get to the playoffs like that and give it over that hump. We have not been able to see Mike Trout play playoff baseball. So if he comes out and has a phenomenal year, which I do, I think he's favorite to win the AL MVP, which he probably will. Dude's already got 3 of them. So dude will probably have 8 by the time he's done. And they were able to make some good moves this season. I really love, what's his name there, the Asian cat that does a little bit of both.
Otani hitting the ball out of the park and pitching curveballs, dude, like for no reason. Dude came over and just started hitting bombs.
He's hitting bombs, striking people out. You don't see that all the time. Great story, great little fun guy to watch. But, the Angels really got to lock in this year. And like I'm saying, at the end of the day, we're just kind of wasting Mike Trout's career. But all in all, I got Houston coming out on top here for sure.
I agree. I think Houston definitely probably the team to beat, but I'm really hoping that the Angels can step something up this year. Get Mike Trout into October baseball. I feel like we really need some of that in MLB. You got the best player in the league sitting at home every year in the playoffs. It's like LeBron not making the playoffs every year. What are we doing? We're wasting this man's career. We can't be doing that. So, I'm hoping Otani gets back on the mound. He had Tommy John last year, so he didn't really pitch. Get him pitching. They need some new pitching in there, and just a team, got some guys around Trout. I know they've been trying to do it because They just signed Trout to, I think, like a 13-year contract a couple years ago, something huge.
500 million or something like that.
Some fat. He's stuck there, so they got to build some team around him, get him to the playoffs. They just can't keep him on the bench for all playoffs.
Needs a cheating scandal. It's Los Angeles. The commissioner needs to work something out. We need Mike Trout in the playoffs.
We need that man in October, November, whenever. I'll play anytime Mike Trout.
That is facts. But I mean, speaking of some MVP talks, Mike, I'm gonna have you hard transition us into some of these MVP odds. Let's get into it.
Yeah, shout out FanDuel supplying the odds here. We're gonna go top to bottom here. Coming in favorited, we got Mookie Betts plus 500 win that MVP. I'm gonna read a few off here. Next up, we got Christian Yelich plus 700. We got Ronald Acuna Jr. plus 750. Cody Bellinger plus 800. The boy Freddie Freeman plus 800 as well. We got Fernando Tatis Jr. plus 1,000. We got Juan Soto plus 1,000 as well. And then the last one here, we got Nolan Arenado also plus 1,000 here. So, I mean, we got some juicy options. I mean, if you're feeling confident to lock in a season MVP, I mean, this is the time to do it before the season gets going.
That was all National League, right? That was all NL odds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, so at face value, I mean, you know, Mookie being at the top is very understandable. Obviously, coming off a championship, Mookie Betts is a generational talent. You know, future Hall of Famer. And every guy on that list is on there for a reason. Obviously, just baller guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and take that 1,000 odd, man. I'm gonna lock it in right now. I'm taking that boy Nolan Arenado. We kind of set this off air. And the reason I like that, obviously, because of the odds. But I think, you know, this guy's kind of been in them conversations for a couple of years now. Just being on that Rockies team. They just haven't been able to win a lot of games. I don't think a lot of people have been paying attention to what Nolan Arenado is doing in Colorado. Obviously going in the St. Louis, which is historically a great franchise and whatnot. Obviously with him and the pairing of Paul Goldschmidt, I just think, Nolan Arenado's got something to prove. And two, they're going to win a lot of baseball games this year. So he's going to be in the forefront of that. I love those odds. I love me some Nolan Arenado. To me, that just sounds like a sleeper, sneaky pick to go ahead and take that plus 1,000.
I think that's definitely fair. You got Arenado definitely going to be in more of a limelight situation than he was in Colorado the past few years. Nobody, I think, realizes how good he's been. He's been one of the best players, definitely the best third baseman in baseball for at least the last 3 or 4 years, defensively and offensively. So, I mean, definitely can't take nothing away from him. I like that pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to go with. And like I said, for the most part, Mookie, you know, guys like that, they're there for a reason. At the end of the day, it's a crapshoot. Injuries and whatnot can happen. But I like Nolan on that for sure. Do we have the AL odds?
We do not have the AL odds on them, boy.
Do not have
Mike Trout's running away with that.
That is a fumbling of the bag on Rich's part. We will soon get that video out for y'all, though. But with that being said, this was our first episode of Dingers and Doinks. The meat pack is out. Fuck out of here.
Perfect.